Well, some people believe that it's Popeye behind the guilty as sin channel, truth or fiction. Would Popeye do something like that? Absolutely. What are the chances that Barry still has use of his phone? Well, I could come to a conclusion on that. Well, even with doubts, really. His New Year's Eve soiree was sent over to immigration. There's always a good possibility they did confiscate his phone and they could have got the guards in trouble. That's a good possibility. So, has guilty as sin, guilty as sin, who believes that that's actually Barry and it's not Popeye? Something to think about. I'm not sure what to say on that, really, that anything is possible on here, but I do think that Barry was reprimanded for the use of his phone, especially on the New Year's Eve event. And there was a good possibility that his phone and equipment was actually confiscated. Although I can't prove that at all. I can't prove that. But somebody's spreading a little rumor that it's actually Popeye behind the Guilty as Sin channel. Is that impossible? No, it's not impossible. Knowing all the time that Popeye has for doing this kind of shit, it would not surprise me one bit. Not even one bit. But, hello, Viking. Well, he's still in detention. That's where he is. No, I'm not going to make this long, okay? I got to take a shower. Um, I get emails from people trying to bait me all the time and to believe this and believe that. I don't believe anything unless I could actually prove it. I could easily say that, yeah, I'm sure all the reports to immigration did not help Barry's situation, and the possibility that he actually had his phone confiscated is possibly real. But again, I can't prove anything, and I'm not going to speculate on that because if I don't know it for sure from proper evidence, then I can't say that's actually what's going on. No, I don't think so, Viking. I don't think so. No. His time will come, don't get me wrong, but my lawyer would know something about that. And my lawyers had no communication from anybody, including Barry's attorney, so, you know. I'll know on the next hearing if he comes in with an orange jumpsuit. If he comes in with an orange jumpsuit and handcuffed, then I know that he was transferred to, I don't know, one of them glory palaces like Bikutan or Baikutan, however you choose to pronounce it. So, as I said, I get emails from people all the time. Oh, all this talk on Discord, everything's on Discord. And they just run through a lot of different theories, speculations, lies, and hoax and whatever on Discord. A lot of it goes on behind the scenes. Now, it's my own understanding, I'm going to make a statement here. I have not emailed anything to Barry's girlfriend's brother, who's a barangay captain. But according to an email I got, that somebody had posted somewhere his girlfriend's brother's name and email address, and that a bunch of people have sent a whole bunch of shit over to him. I could definitely make that statement and say, no, I don't have her brother's email address, and even if I did, I wouldn't send him anything. I'll go to the court system, not to him. He's not involved in any of this, so whatever knowledge or prior knowledge he has of what's going on with Barry, that's his gig. But I would not email him anything. That's never happened. Although people found out his address, as proved to me, and somebody posted this somewhere, I think on Discord or something, the brother's full name and an actual email address for his brother. I don't know what they sent in. I don't have any idea. But it really comes down to one thing. I don't think things are going well for him. There might even be some, shall I call it, friction between him and his girlfriend, which would not surprise me at all. But in consideration on how much he has tolerated and seems to be willing to tolerate, and the possibility of putting herself in dire straits. I don't know. A lot of things may not make sense to a lot of people, but you got to understand through this whole process, it's been stressful for everyone, including myself. Maybe not as bad with me as it is with him, but under the circumstances. But yeah, I would venture to say anyway that I think there's some hard times going on, and I think at this point he has certain expectations or some knowledge of what's actually going to go down in this case. I can speculate on that, and it may not be speculation. I'm sure it's not going to go real well for him. Ginger, stop. I don't think it's going to go real well. But I could, say anything I want on here and not be true. Unless I know for sure through absolute evidence, I can't prove anything really. Not really. But if he shows up in a courtroom with an orange jumpsuit on, then I'll know. I'll know better. Could that be a possibility? Could be. Because sometimes the information highway doesn't come my way, even through my lawyers. Sometimes it doesn't. You would think it would, but the system is slow on getting information out. Okay. There's a lot of things maybe we're not aware of, or he's not aware of. I mean, it's just everything obviously happens very slow in the Philippines. Could be a lot of information out there on developments or anything, but sometimes even I won't know this. All you could do is speculate or hope or whatever, but that's not proof. I know immigration's probably pretty sick and tired of him. I'm pretty sure of that. Okay. Because he's complained to U.S. Embassy. They don't like him. And he's put even the guards at his facility in dire straits, I'm sure, of certain liberties that he was afforded. That wouldn't surprise me. His complaints to the immigration about his situation. I'm sure they were not happy hearing from him how many times he's probably wrote him saying I'm being held at like a hostage or whatever he blabs about all the time. Yeah. But as far as people writing me emails and stuff and all this, their own speculation, or what they regard as facts, I don't always buy them unless there's absolute proof. Then I'm not going to come up with a statement and say that he's definitely had his communication equipment taken away from him. I don't know that. Now, I've always thought that Guilty as Sin was his other channel. Somebody says that's actually Popeye and it's not Barry. It's hard to tell because some of the language used in there would come from Barry. General language, misspelling, a lot of different things. Grammar, But Popeye knows the way Barry talks, so it's very easy for Popeye to just screw up a few words or make it sound like Barry. So is it Barry's channel or not? I don't know. I would assume that it's Barry's channel, but if he has, well, there's two possibilities for that. Maybe he has limited use of his phone. Like, he said he has to order out from Grab. Well, he's going to have to, he's going to have some kind of a communication device to order from Grab or wherever he orders his food from, right? I mean, you would think so. So, fact or fiction, again, here we go. It's what you want to believe. But I don't believe anything until I know 100% fact that it's real. Popeye is very involved between me and Barry, of course, if you haven't figured that out. And of course, he has that kind of time on his hands. And he's living in the United States, and he really shouldn't have that much time on his hands. I mean, there's probably so much to do in Florida, compared to here. Let's be honest. There has to be. You would think there would be, but everybody chooses their own lifestyle. Whether he sits home and just makes his little skits and monitors who's online and how he could react to it as a troll through his sock accounts, through whatever he does normally, that's never going to stop him. So as far as saying that Guilty as Sin is actually Popeye's channel, it was created in February of 2024, supposedly. Has it been around that long? Yeah, I think it has. So the possibilities exist that it ain't Barry. But if he did indeed have his phone confiscated from him, he must be going out of his monkey-ass mind. That's for sure. He was going out of his mind just having the cell phone to use and look up movies, and I don't know. It's really hard to say, and I'm not going to say it here. If I knew the exact facts on this, I would tell you guys. But I can honestly tell you, I don't know. I can't agree with what's been sent to me in emails or the side talk that's going on in regards to him and his situation. And I don't even know some of the stuff from my own lawyer. Now, as far as the situation where he's claiming he can get married on February 8th, I don't know, is there such thing as fixers that can do that kind of stuff? Because with the knowledge I've accrued, I just don't see that it's possible. Is there a loophole that he got through? I know one thing, as my attorney told me, the assistant, the guy in his firm, the other lawyer, he said that the one thing he does know is that he would have to get out of his cell and go to certain agencies. He would have to put signature to paper. And whether he was ever allowed to do that, I don't know. Is it possible to get married in jail? People get married in jail all the time. However, you got to look at this at another angle. There are prerequisites, and either you can qualify for that or not. And one being, of course, a valid visa, an NBI clearance, and even goes far as what's his record in the United States. Does he have any wants or warrants against him? Any bench warrants? Child payment situations. Because they don't want to see on the record that he has these impediments or whatever against him. So everything from NBI clearance to a valid passport to a valid visa are all considerations. Now, is it impossible to get married though you have a court case on you? Yeah, you still could. You still could, but would that be sensible if that was real? They could get married? No, not if he's going to be eventually sent out of the country, never to come back. It makes no sense at all. And of course, if he's going to be spending time in prison. Now you'd ask yourself, why would a woman want to marry him under circumstances like that? I mean, it's good to have, hope and faith and all that stuff and that it's all going to work out. But one of the reasons why you want to get married is very simple. He figures that if he gets married, that maybe they'll allow him to stay in the country. But my honest opinion on that is no. I don't think that's going to solve his problems. In fact, it could actually create more problems than good. So that's just my opinion on that whole situation. Can he really get married? He set a date for February, even came up with a date. Can he get married in jail? Well, if the answer was yes, the question would be, why would you want to do that? That's not exactly a memorable situation to get married while you're incarcerated, but it happens all the time. Philippines law is kind of a funny law out here. They have some funny, different laws. And as might be different a little bit than, over in Western countries, but you can get married if you're incarcerated. That happens all over the world. They allow that, but there has to be examined circumstances around that. Again, important stuff. If you have an active visa and so forth. Okay. Interview with the Dead. Apparently, Popeye's doing a show. I'll let you go watch it. But don't believe everything you hear on YouTube because chances are it's not correct.